Hi fellow yarn whisperers, this is Fallon back again with another portion of my beginner series. If you haven't already and you'd like to, go ahead and subscribe to my channel. Click the notification bell, that way you can be informed every time the Yarn Whisperer whispers something new to the channel. So for today's tutorial, beginner tutorial, we're going to go over, let me see what I did with my other hook. We're going to go over the half double crochet. And the half double crochet is very simple. If you can chain and you can single crochet, you are ready for half double crochet. So as in previous videos, we're going to put a slip knot on our hook. We've already learned how to do that. We are going to hold our yarn. We learned how to do that. And then we're going to chain, let's do 13. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I wanted to give a few more on this swatch. Now some crocheters would like to have a chain 2 for the portion that works up to get you over to the next row. I am okay with a chain 1 for a half double crochet because I still think half double crochets are relatively short, but that is a matter of preference. If you are going to choose to do a chain 2 to move you up to the next row to go over, then you'll just need to remember that at the end of the row, you chain 2, move over. Don't work into the extra chains that you've done. Chain 2, move over, chain 2, move over, and so on and so forth. I'm going to be doing chain 1 in this tutorial, and so what we're going to do on our first row here, you want to grab a loop on your hook first. Normally we've been working directly into the stitch first, but with a half double crochet we have a little extra work to do before we can go into that stitch. So we're going to grab a loop on our hook, then we're going to go into the second loop, or the second stitch from our hook. And remember, this loop doesn't count, it's the one that's just on our hook. So this is the first chain, this is the second chain from our hook. So we've yarned over, we've gotten an extra loop on our hook. Now we're going to go into the second chain from the hook. Then we're going to grab another, yarn over, and pull up a loop. Now we've got 3 loops on our hook, and I know that looks like there's a lot going on, but it's not, because guess what you do next? You yarn over, sorry I bumped into the camera, and you pull through all 3. And that's a half double crochet. Not too difficult. Excuse me. So let me get, bumped into the camera again. Sorry guys. Let me get really close. You yarn, you grab up a loop. This is the next stitch that we're working into. You can see we worked into that one already. So you grab up a loop on your hook first, then you go into the stitch, then you yarn over, pull up an extra loop, and remember, don't forget, you can twist your hook around, you can move this yarn around, don't be afraid of it. So now you have 3 loops on the hook. You'll want to yarn over and pull through all 3 loops on your hook. And that's a half double crochet. I'm sorry guys, I have a frog in my throat. So we're going to work the rest of the way down this chain together. Grab that loop through the stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3. Grab an extra loop, go through the stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3. Grab a loop, go through the stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3. Grab a loop, through the stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3. And try and work these really slow for you guys. And feel free always, of course, to rewind the video to a point that was more helpful than another. Pause it and catch up to where you need to be. And look at that, he's curling up again. We can fix it later. Okay, so now we have gotten to our very last chain. We know this because you can see the knot at the end, you can see the extra V right there. So we're going to grab an extra loop, go through the stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops. Alright, so that flattens out that edge. And now I'm going to, as I did before, chain 1 to give myself the room to move up, turn my work, and just like with the single crochet, I want to ignore this chain 1 and I want to work into this very first thing. So now it doesn't look too much like little legs anymore, but you can see that there's 2 pieces of yarn and then there's 1 piece of yarn, and we want to work in between the single piece and the 2 pieces. If we go in between those, we've gotten underneath that entire stitch. Oop, but first you got to grab another loop. Go in between, pull up an extra loop, 3 loops on the hook, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops. And don't be afraid if you don't do this right the first time, just keep trying again. So remember, like I said, there's two little pieces of yarn right there, and then this single piece of yarn is half of what makes up this whole top of the stitch. So we'll grab an extra loop, go in between that, pull up another loop. You can take a minute to straighten it out if you need to. Yarn over, pull through all 3 loops. Oh, I skipped one. Put this through here because that was the last chain. I'm looking at this through my camera, so it's easier to do, but that's okay. We can just pull it out and start over. So this blue one is the next one that I want to work into. There's the 2 pieces of yarn right there, the one on top that makes up the stitch. I'm going to go in between that. There we go. And we'll keep doing this until we get to the end. Get this real good and close to the camera. And now a half double crochet is just a little bit of a taller stitch than a single crochet, and I still have the swatch from the single crochet, and we're going to compare the two once we get to the end. And just like with the single crochet, when you come to the end, you're gonna think that you're going too far, but you really aren't, because this last bit, that is the last stitch that we need to work into. So we're going to yarn over. Remember, this last stitch is like the drunk friend falling out of a car. So we're going to go through, up underneath that stitch, pull up that loop, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops. And you can fiddle with this a little bit if you need to. Excuse me, guys, I'm sorry. To get it to lay better. And then I'm going to go ahead and fasten off and clip my yarn. Okay, so now we have this little swatch, and where did my little swatch of single crochet go? I have so many things on this desk. Oh, here we go. Okay, here's the swatch of single crochet. Obviously it is 2 stitches longer because we did do a row of 12 for the half double crochet instead of a row of 10. But when you compare it side by side, it is just a hair taller. We'll even lay this one directly in front. Oh, actually, now that I'm thinking about it, this is 3 rows. So they're about the same. But this last row, you see where it's making the little legs? If that weren't there, that's how tall 2 rows would be. Because we've got a row here and a row here. I didn't think about that. So if we did a whole other row of half double crochet to make up for it so that it was 3 rows high, it would be, let's see, got something I can point with. Okay, we'll look at this yellow piece right here that goes up. This whole piece right here is a stitch, so it would be that much taller than the single crochet. So that is one more beginner stitch to add to your repertoire. I probably mispronounced that. I'm sure I offended someone in another country. I do apologize. I thank you so much for watching my videos. I am hoping to see this channel keep growing. I love crocheting. It is absolutely my favorite hobby ever in existence. And to be able to do this for everyone and for anybody to enjoy it just makes my heart sing. So leave me a comment. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up button for me, and I will see you again on the next episode of The Yarn Whisperer. Bye!